The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. With that, let's check out how the Chargers line up on offense.
An unexpected yet pleasant surprise for the Chargers in 2018 was the return of Antonio Gates, who had announced his retirement but changed his mind right before the season and provided their quarterback, Phillip Rivers, with his great downfield presence and big-time play.
He'll look to throw. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
They'll set up the throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On is the Chargers punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Cardinals now under first-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And certainly one of the mainstays in this offense is the crafty veteran L. Fitz.
Love the way you phrased it. Crafty. This guy knows how to get open and catch the football.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Double dog, that's the way.
2nd and 10. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Second down and inches. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Call it a 4-yard pickup, but it leaves him a few inches short here on 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Charger drive about to get going. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Drop to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Charger football to start quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. A 3rd down gain of 19. So they went gutsy. Instead of getting some space with a conservative run, they throw the football at a big 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, that's just what I said, wasn't it? Didn't I say they were going to throw the ball?
Revisionist history.
Ah, that's right. But I took a shot.
Matchbox light. Look, squeeze. Get it.
And to give this time to the tailback. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Kill.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Hey, echo.
2nd and 3. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down.
58, Mike. I got it. 58, right over there. Yeah.
Looking to throw. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
On is the Chargers punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona Cardinals coming back out here on offense, and this is a team that has hit the midway point of the season at 3-4-1, Charles. They tied week 1 against the Lions, then they lost 3 straight, and people were thinking, oh, no. They won 3, and now they lost 1 to the Saints last week in week 8. So, I don't know. What do you think of this team and under first-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah, I think that the Saints game has been the outlier for them because I think overall they've played pretty well and have been in just about every game previously. So, getting run out of the Superdome, that shouldn't surprise us. But I think what does surprise me is how well they've actually played throughout the season. For them to be at 3-4-1 doesn't look like much. But remember, last year, would they win 1 game?
Yeah.
So you're talking about some improvement already. I've seen it throughout. David Johnson, their star running back, hasn't really contributed much this year due to injuries. But how about Chase Edmonds 2 weeks ago in New York? Putting 3 touchdowns on him where he went to school at Fordham, and now they made the big trade for Kenyon Drake and the Dolphins. This team has potential moving forward.
Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our Jonathan Coachman. He'll have highlights and analysis of the first half, and our highlights will likely be on the defensive side of the football here. Scoreless game. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. But he's got Fitzgerald. A gain of 10, first down, Arizona. The 11-time Pro Bowler Larry Fitzgerald still has it. His production did take a dip last year on the heels of 3 straight 1,000-yard campaigns. He's in the back half of his 30s now. What a career it's been. Coming into this year, over 1,300 receptions, 116 of those for touchdowns, and second only to Jerry Rice in career receiving yards. Pretty spectacular.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that. He's got it at the 15. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And he finds Fitzgerald. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll drop the throw. This will be caught at about the 5. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the problem. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. The Cardinals forced to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Cliff Kingsbury here on 4th down trots out the field goal unit. And his kick is indeed good. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. Now the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
The Charger drive about to get going. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been all about the defense. Just a lone field goal in that first half. And as a result, not too much available in terms of highlights. But that's okay. We've got a full half to go. And to bring it your way, let's get back out to Brandon and Charles.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The Cards with a lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Well, Charles, 18 of the 32 teams have now played 8 games, half their season. The other 14 will reach the midway point next week, so we'll save the midseason grades and awards until then. But
thank you. I like that.
We'll wait on that. But let's look at a few underperforming teams thus far that have played 8 games, and you tell me what you think their final record's going to be. Let's start with the Chargers at 3-5.
Big win in Chicago on Sunday. I like them to go 5-3 down the stretch. and that gives them 8 wins. Actually, have them go 6-2. I think they're going to go 9-7.
Ooh, right there on the edge of the playoffs. Okay, let's stay in the AFC West. How about the Broncos at 2-6 right now?
I just don't see that offense improving. I think that they win 2 more games and go 4-12.
Okay, and Giants 2-6. They're underperforming.
Yeah, but their schedule really lightens up on the back end. They're playing hard. I'm going to give them 6 wins, 6-10.
Lastly, and I might duck under the table when you answer this one, the Falcons at 1-7.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I wonder about what's going to happen with their head coach. But I think they'll play better down the stretch. 4 wins, 4-12.
You're off the hot seat, my friend.
Thank you.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Airing this one out for Fitzgerald. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal.
Ready. 50, plant.
Tight end left. Alert. 3 now.
Ready.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Greystone, Travis.
Slam.
Shoot.
Back to throw here. He's going to let this go for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
On 4th down, Anthony Lynn says, let's go for 3. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Now a first down run is going nowhere. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, a loss of 2. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. They're going to look to throw. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
You got tight. You got tight right there.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. Back now at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Hey, Charlie! Five!
They'll set up to throw. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And they're going to get the first down here across the 15-yard line. Well, that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So that last play gives them a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
3 down, 3 down.
Yes, yes! Go on!
Now they'll run it on the toss. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
We got 3.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Back to throw. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. And remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
It's a loss of a yard. It is 3rd down.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. I tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged. But when they look over and see their opponents, they don't see a number that's way out there. They don't see a number they can't attain. In fact, they can get it right here on this drive and potentially take the lead.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can...
That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Antonio Gates, 58 yards. And the Chargers have taken the lead. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Extra point attempt to follow here. So he missed his lone field goal try, but he's got this one as that extends their lead. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. All eyes on the Cardinals now. Down by 4, just over 2 minutes to go. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning. And it looks like this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning.
Let's see what you got.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going to throw right side here, complete. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The throw over the middle, taken in. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there and a first down. He'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Back to throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Ready? 50, play.
Silver.
Ready?
They'll look to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Back to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both, because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
He's back to throw. And that will be incomplete. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Here we go. 70, Indy. Hey, lock it.
Tap right.
Kill.
You got 3. 3 down. He's crashing. He's checking.
Look at me. Zipper.
Double up. He's coming. Double up.
Get it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
Yep. Jim, look at me. Score. Rock it. Big grip.
Now a handoff here to his running back. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game.
58, boy, 58.
Hey, Sam off.
Watch the clock.
Hit it.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. The Cardinals forced to burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. On is the Chargers punter now. He's been terrific so far. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night, everybody.